Yeah, so I think that did take a couple of weeks for the algorithm to really work and start changing the stuff that it was targeting to me. Similar to Instagram as well, like I engage a lot with, obviously with my community, but then also with content creators who are outside of the hair industry. There's some really, really awesome ones in Germany and America that I follow, and I'm getting targeted with their content, and also people who are similar, because that's how the algorithm works. It sees what your taste and what your flavors are, and then shows you other stuff which is similar, basically.
And these people that you're watching, that you really enjoy, and I hope our listeners don't mind me just going a little bit off direction here, because
I love it.
I think it's great. It's great conversation for me. Those people that you follow, or I enjoy watching these. Has that led you to them, to their funnel?
Yeah, gotcha.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so from TikTok, that has made you curious enough to want to learn more about that person.
Okay.
So from TikTok, that may take you to where?
It might take me to a course that they're doing. It might take me to sign up to their email list to access free resources. So they're winning. You know, they've got my deets, and I've got their nuggets of their knowledge.
So that's where I've gone on that. Is just I've gone around that because I'm thinking, great, you've gone to TikTok. People may think, but that's made you curious enough to know more about that person, follow, like. Then that relationship becomes deeper. So I guess from a salon point of view, if they're creative enough, look outside the industry, think, right, how can I bring hair into TikTok? And you want to reach a client, there are ways to make that journey and that process to actually getting a bum on seat.
Good Lord, yes, absolutely. Yeah. For example, this is one example that comes to mind. I was in the market for a softbox and an LED light recently. So I was just browsing through a few different photographers and videographers on TikTok, and I came across this guy, probably the age, I think he's like 13, tiny. And I was like, okay, cool. He's saying link in bio for all of my go-to kit. I went onto his bio. He told me what kit to buy, and I'm using it right now. And I'm just like, this is amazing. The second that kid does a course, I'll be in line, you know? And that's exactly the magic that we can create for hair and beauty pros. I think that the natural gravitation is to do transformation videos on TikTok and on social media in general.
You think that's powerful, do you? Transformational videos? I
think that's your bread and butter. That is your absolute staple. That's like, yeah, that's your water and air. But then look outside of that. If you're a salon, one of the hardest things for any salon owner is recruitment. And if you're showcasing why people should come work for you on a daily, hourly, minute-by-minute basis, then the second that you've got an opening, people are going to, like, other stylists are going to be wanting to come work for you. So if you're using your niche on your social, whether that's on TikTok, Instagram, FaceBase, MySpace, no, I'm joking. Whatever.
I loved MySpace. I know, look, old school people, but MySpace was a fantastic platform, so pioneering in its early days.
Legit, yes. It got me into a lot of trouble with moving my top friends around, but I learned how to HTML code pouring orange rain from the top of my page.
Do you know, you had to do all that, didn't you? Creating those beautiful... Sorry, I should do an episode on MySpace just to... Is it still out there, Ben?
No, like Tom, oh my God, he is fit. Tom, the owner of it, who was always your first friend when you joined, he sold it, and he just travels the world with his dog. He is I think, billionaire. Like, he did well. He did so well. But MySpace turned into a music-only platform, and that's how the likes of Lily Allen really popped off. So,
well, I was club promoting at this time. I used to put on club nights. Yeah, I did, and we used to do that. MySpace was a fantastic platform for that, and that's really what grew. I don't think actually without MySpace, this journey of digital would have ever happened, really, because I was never confident. But MySpace, absolutely fantastic, and it's good. But I mean, look, I'll tell you, there is something that came into my mind as I heard you talking about recruitment, and if you're using it to recruitment, and I am a massive fan of yours, Ben, hence why I wanted to bring you on. And just, even the way, thank you, and even the way that you write. I mean, I have to say, I do. I just love it. There's certain people that have a style, and I'm going to shout out a good friend of mine, Emma Summersby. She PR for Summersby Media. Absolutely fantastic way with words, and and you have that yourself. You just have you really express your personality, and I just think, God, I wish I could write like that, but I couldn't because that isn't me. But I think that's important, though, isn't it? Actually, when you're doing all this content, we talk about videos, but actually writing and words and how you really create what you're writing is massively important.
I love that you picked up on that, Dom. I think that, most of the time when I'm writing my captions, I'm pissed as a fart. No, I'm joking. Sometimes I have been a little bit gone girl, and I've written a caption and I'm just like, I think that's comedy gold, and it popped off. Sometimes it didn't pop off, but that's neither here nor there. As long as I'm there to entertain and educate, that's what I want to do. I think that some of my favourite teachers at school were the entertaining ones. I've always loved that about them. I've always loved that about education. And I think that when you are a salon owner, any hair or beauty pro should always be looking to channel their personality in every way into their brand and into their social, into their content, into their website, into whatever they're doing. And so, a one size really, really does not fit all.
Yeah.
And so I work with some clients who one of them was like, "You're quite the potty mouth then, aren't you?" And I was like, and their tone of voice is totally different to mine versus someone else who's an educator, for example, and they are, really scientific. I mean, it really is another opportunity. Like we said at the beginning of this, content is written as well as visual, as well as audio. If you're channeling your personality into your written content, then you're just absolutely being the truest version of you, which is going to attract people who are like you, who are going to want to buy into you, whatever you're selling, whether that's a haircut or a balayage course.
And what would your, again, question after question, but
I love it.
When people are there are so many places now to share our content. You can do it in video format. What's your reply to that? Because I feel a pressure like this, because, if you have a team behind you, which many of these great influencers that we all look on around the world, they have a team. They're not individually doing this, and sometimes that can be really giving over the wrong message, like, I've got to be doing this because they're doing this and I've got to post reels. And video content does not just happen like that. You've got to edit that. I mean, that can take a day. What's your reply to that if somebody's getting really stressed up about this?
Quality over quantity. Simple. Like I post like once every 10 days on my grid or reels, because I think that works for me. I'm not saying, like, my clients are going to kill me for saying that, but, because I'm always like, aim for a minimum of 3 posts a week. That's just because it's a good, tangible number. But if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're starting to compare yourself and think, oh God, like so-and-so's got more followers. Firstly, F followers. Followers don't mean anything. If you've got an engaged community, you could have, literally, I've got a one-woman army over in Canada, and I think she's on peaking 2,000 followers. She is not taking any more clients on. She can't physically take on any more clients because she is at capacity. How amazing is that? Like 2,000 followers, and pretty much everyone who is... Do
you think as well, do you think there are people, not, again, this is really adding anything to our listeners in educating them on this, but I'm just, from your point of view, when I look at certain people and I see a massive amount of followers, they've got more followers. They're a leading hairdresser, so I'm talking industry here, and I'm not referring to any one particular, but I see them and I think they've got more followers than leading celebrities. Is that genuine? Can that really happen?
Of course it can. If you're adding value and you're showing up, more importantly, you're adding value to someone's life and someone's career, then absolutely that's genuine. For example, I think Jacob Kahn, a stylist over in America, he is quite literally my idol. Content on fleek, personality for days, comedy gold. He just is where it's at, man.